bring in NBC 10 political commentator Sue O'Connell now for analysis. I'm wondering what you think about Tim Walz's performance tonight, or to ask the question in the way that Priscilla did he score the touchdown?
He scored the touchdown in the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously getting to the election and night, that will let us know how successful he has been. But you know what he was tonight, Glenn? He was authentic, right? Everybody who ever knew Tim Walz basically got up on that stage and told the same stories. And they talked about his leadership, they talked about his friendship, they talked about his joy. But he's also a serious person who's done serious things. And he's the guy that, as they keep saying, if your car breaks down, you want him to show up. And he also represents something that the Democratic Party has been really trying to get to, and it's a type of masculinity that is both accessible, a leader, has an open heart, not afraid to cry, and, you know, I think that he really, really connected, and especially with these Midwestern values, these votes are very important to the Democrats in order for them to win the White House. I think he really connected with a lot of voters, and especially when they don't have any baggage. I mean, that's kind of a gift. No baggage, here he is.
You talked about masculinity. Let's talk a little bit about the glass ceiling. Women are on the ballot in many ways this year, and this year's DNC might have had the most female speakers in the history of the convention, not to mention the Democratic Women's Governors event that you were at today. That panel was held. Governor Healy was there too. How are female voices being courted in this election?
So it's an interesting thing. I think all the time about how the United States is so far behind our Western cousins, our other democracies, when it comes to electing a female leader. An interesting thing that's happening in this election cycle is, I know that people have said that Kamala Harris is the DEI hire, but she is not the person talking about being a female and being a leader. She is talking about the things that she has done. And many of the women who have been up on that stage have been doing this for decades. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton. And we look at these Democratic governors who were elected across the country over the past 10 years. You know, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who was hosting the event, said that at one point there were more governors named John than there were female governors in the United States. So I think what we're seeing now is just the fruit of the labor of everyone who has been doing this work, both Republicans and Democrats, I might add, who are saying, look, it is now time for women to lead if they are capable and qualified. And now, after all these decades, I think we're finally seeing that progress.
All right, let's talk about one piece of news that developed outside of the DNC today. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has decided he is going to withdraw from the race as a presidential candidate, and he'll be making that announcement along with Donald Trump on Friday. It sounds like this is net positive for the Trump campaign.
It should be on paper, right? Remember, Robert F. Kennedy, there was no path for victory for him. He wasn't on a lot of the state's ballots. He's been negotiating. He tried to get a meeting with the Kamala Harris people to see if he could get a cabinet position. He spoke with Donald Trump. We saw that video that was leaked. Many of the people who are supporting RFK say they are also Trump supporters. They have chosen RFK instead of Donald Trump. That's him talking to me right now from a few years ago. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who are supporting RFK who will be very, very angry about this. So he's got a small percentage of the vote out there on a few ballots. We'll see what happens. It's still very much up in the air where those votes go, but it does favor Trump on paper.
Okay. Thanks very much, Sue O'Connell. All of the excitement in Chicago this week is leading up to that big moment tomorrow night, the crescendo. Vice President Kamala Harris will address the DNC and officially accept the party's presidential nomination. Coverage begins right here on NBC 10 Boston at 9 p.m.